Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this prediction live edition with Rich and Haas this morning. And hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Hope you guys had a safe Black Friday if you went go Christmas shopping and whatnot. And hope you enjoying your Saturday morning. And we're here to predict Survivor Series with you guys and get your day going. First off, Rich, how you doing this morning?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Yeah, my wife and daughters were out shopping. They were out at the crack of crack yesterday morning, and uh, they were out probably 6, 7 hours doing their shopping stuff, and
Ooh, I used to
works
do
for me.
that.
Go ahead, do your thing, man.
I've done it, but I guess because now I work on Black Fridays again, I rather do everything online. Makes it quicker, faster, easier, and I did all my online shopping for the kids weeks before Thanksgiving and all the holidays still
Yeah,
started. I think
yeah,
they always got something on Amazon. They usually do like the week or 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. I always participate in that, and that's when I get most of my Christmas deals done quick.
yeah. Black Friday is not Black Friday anymore. I mean, it's pretty much the whole month of November, and then you got Cyber Monday and whatever else they're calling. The one thing that I do like that they still do, and American Express is a big part of it, and with what I do professionally, it makes a big difference, is that Small Business Saturday, where they
Yeah.
push, shopping local, shopping those mom and pop businesses in your area. Strongly suggest you do that because those are the businesses that make the communities what they are. It's not the Walmarts and the Targets and that kind of thing. It's those, Wilson and Sons hardware and that kind of thing, that's been around for 75 years that makes everything work.
See, the company I work for, they're kind of just a regional company that they got stores all over the state, and we got a couple in Mississippi and a few in Texas. So that I say the same way, and I'm kind of shocked. We don't usually work on them days, but they're like, no, we just come for Black Friday. They handle it on Saturdays. Well, if they have me there or not. So I'm like, I'm not complaining. Plus, with rivalry week of college football, that makes it even better for me. But
Right. Right.
I gotta say, so the last time we talked, it was open mic, everything. Did you get to talk with your wife on some of those foods I sent you?
We did. She had no idea what carrot souffle was.
Oh my god, no
Um,
one. Oh man, my family laughed at my coworkers that didn't know what that was. I'm
she
actually
when she
shocked.
told me what when she told me what rice dressing really is, I knew exactly what it was. She said, "Rich, it's dirty rice." I said, "Okay, I got you now. I'm down with that. I like dirty rice. I'm all in on dirty rice." That's one of my favorite Cajun sides. So, I'm in with you there. The other one, she had no idea on either.
What about the sauce piquant or bit a
That's what I'm
bisque?
saying. She had no clue. The bisque
Wow.
she did. Well, and I mean, I'm familiar with the bisque, but yeah, she had no idea on that other one. So,
I feel bad. If I could rewind time, instead of saying a carrot souffle, I would have said a peach cobbler instead.
yeah. Well,
It's, that's a favorite for
yeah,
me too. I just can't. It wasn't in my head when I said it. I was like, I should have said peach cobbler. Everyone knows what that is down south.
peach cobbler is kind of one of those staples in the South. I'm a little different when it comes to cobbler, though. I'm a blueberry cobbler guy.
Hey, I like
Blueberry
any
or
cobbler.
blackberry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now my wife makes a fantastic apple one. Um, and you know how she makes it? Here's your crazy kitchen thing of the day. She makes it in the crock pot.
Ooh, yes. Uh,
Yes, sir.
when it comes
She's made an
apple,
apple one in the crock pot, a cherry one, and a blueberry one, actually. All three in the crock pot.
ooh, I bet that's fantastic. Anything apple wise for
Tremendous.
me, it's like it's apple pies or apple turnovers for me.
Ooh, apple turn. Arby's apple turnover, or Arby's cherry turnover for that matter. But Arby's turnovers in general, heck yeah, man. All
Oh,
in.
I would get one on the side. Anytime I get what is it, the classic, the beef and cheddar I always get that beef and cheddar classic with the biggest order of curly fries you can get, and I'd get one of them apple turnovers on the side. Like I get about 2 of those, and I'm loaded.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, though the turnover that, and that's something that nobody else has. You know, we there was a thing the other day I read that Arby's was closing all these locations and all that. It's because they're way outside their box now. They're doing burgers and all this other stuff. Stick to roast beef, stick to your sandwiches, stick to your turnovers and your curly fries, and knock it out of the park. You don't see Chick-fil-A making burgers or, catfish sandwiches or something like that, They do chicken and they move on.
I mean, stay in your lane. I mean, I'm good with Taco Bell making those nacho fries, but don't make no nuggets. Don't make no tenders. And I saw that. I'm like, please don't.
Yeah, you're right.
So I know there was only 4 matches to predict, but I said I got a few things I'd like to share with you to kind of make the show a little interesting and kind of drag it along. So we got the Fall Classic, they would call it, or the Thanksgiving tradition, but since 22, it's had a twist. They put WarGames involved. I got to ask this in general because with being a fan of WarGames and all that, and even Survivor Series, do you think WarGames should have its own pay-per-view like they did with WCW, or are you okay with it merging with Survivor Series into one?
No, I'm not. To me, here's when I look at war games the same way I look at Hell in a Cell. There are times for it, and then there's not times for it. I'm glad they got rid of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view because some of the Hell in a Cell matches, they were just fabricated. There was no real reason to have them. This year, there is a real reason to have war games, but there have been situations here in the last few years that there really wasn't a reason. I liked the Survivor Series matches mainly because of one thing. It could end at any time. You could have there were some of those matches that lasted 45 minutes. There were some of those matches that lasted 10. You could have 4-on-1, you could end up with 1-on-1, you can whatever. Um, with war games, you pretty much know how it's going to play until they get everybody in the cage. Because you can't pin anybody or make them submit until everybody's in, which is one of the dumbest rules I've ever. They should make it, that they should make it where, hey, say you've got 3-on-3 in there and somebody quits. Well, those other 4 people never even got into the match. Oh well, life sucks. Move
That
on.
that kind of would suck. I would be honest with you. I mean,
But
it's
can you
something Dusty came up
imagine?
with. Yeah, I can imagine not getting a
Could
chance
you
to
imagine the
break
talk?
someone's neck. Yeah,
Well,
I can imagine.
I
Like
mean,
you want to see this guy get his hands on this one, but it never happened because they were both locked in shark cages, and someone immediately forfeited
right?
or got pinned. Yeah, that would lead a lot of
The,
concept of agony and chaos and drama.
the shark cage thing is stupid. The way AEW did it for Blood and Guts, just have them come down to the ring, or have them outside, have them all standing around outside the cage like NWA used to do, like Jim Crockett Promotions did, and then whenever the time's up, they just climb in the cage. We don't
Or how
need the
about
shark cage and all that kind of garbage unless you're putting a manager inside of it.
do like just do like TNA, keep them all in the back, and then you put You play their music and they come out like Royal Rumble style. You don't know who's going to come out for
Yeah.
each team.
Well, that's basically what AEW did with their Blood and Guts. You didn't know what order they were coming. The time hit and boom, here comes the next person. You didn't know who was coming. So if there's a reason for War Games, okay. This year, and I realize that the injury has a lot to do with it, there is absolutely no reason for Logan Paul to be in this match.
Yep. He's just a
Except that
filler.
Seth Rollins is hurt.
It's a filler. He's a filler for Seth, but the reason he's in because people can't stand him. People want to see him get his neck snapped in half and put him in a double cage in 2 rings with a bunch of other guys to do it. But it's a match for people you don't like to get brutally beat in, and Logan Paul's on top of the list for those guys.
Well, yeah, but who on that other side does he really have legitimate heat with? He doesn't have heat with either one of the Usos. He doesn't have heat with Punk. He doesn't have heat with Cody. He doesn't.
I mean,
It just doesn't make any sense.
I think he's only wrestled Cody. They tried to make a story to have him get in a title picture with Punk, and Punk don't want to do it unless that's what they're trying to work on in the near future. Like, oh, Punk's next opponent's going to be Logan Paul, which, to be honest with you, I'm not in for that.
I think they could do an interesting build to it. You got to admit, both guys would do well on the mic. And I'll be I think I've mentioned this to you before. As far as an outsider coming in, find me somebody that is adapted better than Logan Paul.
You talking about an actual wrestler, or you talking about a celebrity in
I'm talking
general?
about somebody that came in from outside of wrestling and became a wrestler. I can't think of anybody that has adapted to the wrestling business better than Logan Paul. I can't.
Not even Ronda Rousey.
No.
Well,
she was horrible.
Well, there's only one other name I could think of, and he is back performing music. A lot of people are going to say Bad Bunny because he had a couple outstanding performances.
Bad Bunny was close, and I'll give him that one. But he, I'm sure you've seen, and a lot of our listeners right now have probably seen that a lot of the guys even said Bad Bunny put in a lot of work to be able to do this stuff. It's not like the Dennis Rodman thing or the Jay Leno thing or the Snooki thing or whatever, that was just mockery. Stephen Amell has done work, but it's still a mockery of the business. Bad Bunny, Logan Paul are probably the top 2. Mongo McMichael got good. He was horrible at the very beginning when he first got into WCW, but you could tell being part of the Horsemen and working with those guys, he got better. He was never really great, but you could tell he was at least being respectable as time went on.
What about, before we had a Bad Bunny and Logan Paul, the only other celebrity that came from the other side I can remember being one of the most outstanding was Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor did real well with Bam Bam Bigelow. Mainly, I think, because he was carried by Bigelow in that match. And if you remember right, that there was a ton of controversy, A, about that being the main event, and B, it only took, if I remember correctly, 11 minutes.
Yeah. But that WrestleMania was pretty diabolical. Shawn and Diesel would have probably
Yeah.
been a good main event, but it wouldn't have ended well with having Diesel retain, even if he was the big baby face.
Well, see, to me, your world championship should always be the main event. Your main title should always it puts prestige in. How many times did Ric Flair carrying the belt not finish a card? How many times
Quite
did, as
often.
much as you know, and a lot of our listeners know, I couldn't stand Hulk Hogan. How many times did Hulk Hogan not finish the card when he was carrying the strap?
Shit, to be honest with you, I think between 97 and 98, the world title really wasn't defended at a lot of pay-per-views, unless if it was like a Starrcade or something.
Yeah. But when it was, when did it come on? Last. To me, that title always gets, the top billing. They remember Ric Flair used to talk about the name on the marquee.
See, going back to 97, whenever Hogan had the title, I can only recall maybe at least 2 or 3 pay-per-views in 97 he defended it. And any other time he either wasn't on the card, or if he was involved like in a tag match with Dennis Rodman or WarGames with the NWO. Or in a non-title match with like Roddy Piper or something. That should have been a title match. Or with Randy Savage or something, like somebody like that. Like, how I don't remember what started Piper. And Piper beat him. Like, that shit, I think it was 96. It was 97 with Sting, which was the worst match ever. That should have been world champion that night whenever he fought Hogan. It was Starrcade 96, I think it was. But I digress. That's just how Ted Turner and Bischoff and Hogan were and all them.
Right. And I realize this is another topic for another show. But Roddy Piper is right there in that top section of guys who never won a world title that should have.
So
he's on that list. There's several of them, but he's on that list.
So I got 5 in my opinion.
Oh, I do too.
I could say mine real quick and not go into detail. Roddy Piper was 1. Scott Hall, Razor Ramon was 2.
Absolutely.
Owen Hart, if he'd have still been here today, Owen Hart should have been a world champion too.
Oh, he would have been. If he was still alive, he would have been.
4. Oh, damn. 4. I'm going to go a little further down the generation. I had one from the Attitude Era, and I missed it off the top of my head. I had somebody from the Attitude Era says should have been a world champion. Ken Shamrock, probably. I'll throw Ken Shamrock up there. But I'm going to throw somebody from the Ruthless Aggression era and somebody from whatever you want to call the 2010s era. Shelton Benjamin should have been a world champion, and Wade Barrett.
Oh. Well, Wade Barrett was supposed to be champion. He was supposed to beat Cena. Yeah, Cena shot it down.
Yeah. He called an audible and said, no.
Mm-hmm. Ain't going to work for me, brother. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong guy.
What you got for yours?
No. And see, I mean, and there's even other guys, because you look at a Ted DiBiase. You look at and he's one of my favorites, is Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson.
What about Jake the Snake?
No. I couldn't see Jake holding the title. But a guy like Double A, definitely. He, when you sit and you look at it and really kind of think about it, what about Greg Valentine?
I think he's won mid-card title. I think he won the IC title maybe or the US, but
he held the IC title, he held the US title in NWA, but he never held the world title.
He kind of looked like he had a little bit of Ric Flair in him, a little Gorgeous George in him. I mean, he had that. He had that midnight. He had what was it? Ricky Morton's hair. You could kind of say that long blonde hair.
Yeah.
He could have been.
Well, and you were talking. You brought up Owen Hart. There's another one that if his career didn't get cut short is Magnum TA.
Oh yeah, I remember before the accident, like they were building him to be that next big star before he got in that was a motorcycle accident or a car accident where
Car
it
wreck.
ended his career. And
Yep.
hell, I remember the mustache, the mullet, the leather jacket. He looked like a movie star from the 80s. And
Yep.
I know that was way
Well,
before my
that
time,
was
and it was
that was the whole
heartbreaking
reason
when
why
I heard about
Dusty
it.
went. Well, that was the whole reason why Dusty went with Magnum, because if anybody remembers Magnum PI, Tom
Yeah,
Selleck, it was a
yep.
TV show, and outside of Magnum's hair being lighter than Tom Selleck's was black, and Magnum's was more like a lighter color. He could have passed for Magnum. He could have passed for Tom Selleck, and the girls were flipping out. Um, and he was gonna be the guy to take the NWA to the next level, and you were gonna have those Flair and Magnum matches forever.
So that's who
Um,
he was supposed to fight. Like he was supposed to get into a feud with, I think it was Flair at
mhm,
Starrcade before the accident,
with
and
Flair,
then he had to get replaced. And I believed if it would have
yeah.
happened, Flair would have dropped the belt to him, and he would have been what
Well,
like
he
Hulk
was supposed.
Hogan was. He'd have been the Hulk Hogan of the NWA.
Sorry.
I agree.
Well, and the other thing, they were even talking about the a heel turn for him.
Yeah, that'd have been interesting.
Would have been. But yeah, I mean, there were all kinds of plans for him. Jim Duggan never won the world championship. Dr. Death Steve
Yeah,
Williams never won the world championship.
Dark Death would have been a good fit. Like, especially when I could see him being WCW world champion. I don't know about WWE, but WCW, yeah. I don't know about
And then, of course, a guy that you and I talked about
Wardlow.
off the air. What about Terry Gordy?
I could see him if this would have been like NWA, WCW, maybe ECW.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not just saying WWE. I'm saying never was world champion. And he was a world tag champion, and he won slews of titles in Japan, singles and tag. But, you know, I don't know. But we kind of diverted ourselves a little bit there.
That's
What about
oh
you? I
no.
mean, where are you on the difference between the War Games and Survivor Series formats?
I mean, it's on pay per view. You all. I always would love to see like a random team of 4 or 5 go against guys they're feuding with and like elimination tag team style. I don't know. It was its own thing. And Survivor Series don't get a lot of credibility. What people don't know is it's the second oldest pay per view behind WrestleMania. Actually, that pay per view started the same year WarGames was created. They were like 4 or 5 months apart. Uh,
Mhm.
Survivor Series what used to happen on Thanksgiving night, and it would be just 4-on-4 tag matches till we moved them to the night before Thanksgiving, where Games was created by Dusty Rhodes, and the first one happened at Great Bash 87, sorry, at the Omni, where it was the Four Horsemen, and I forgot Lex Luger was in the Four Horsemen at that time, taking on like Dusty, Nikita Koloff, and the Road Warriors with Paul Ellering. That was the first War Games match they
Mhm.
ever did. And I went back and
Yep.
rewatched it, and it was something interesting. I like the whole concept. Like all these people have 2 rings in one giant cage. I like it. TNA should have did that with Lethal Lockdown, but they kept them all in one ring, which was kind of funky. But I wish they'd have its own shows. I miss the whole traditional Survivor Series elimination tag matches and whatnot. But I'll start with Survivor Series first. We've seen 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 10-on-10. That's too many people. 7-on-7. Are you more of a classic 4-on-4 guy, or are you like the traditional 5-on-5?
when it comes to Survivor Series, I guess the 5-on-5 probably. I mean, I could go either way, but I mean, the 5-on-5 is kind of the tradition, the original way they did it. Um, the big thing for me, is just that idea of you didn't know how it was going to play out. You just didn't know who was going to get knocked out first. That kind of stuff. You had one year, and I don't remember exactly what year it was, but it was, the main event. You had Hogan and Savage on the same team, and Savage gets knocked out first, and you're going, "Holy
It might
smoke!
have been 88.
Savage is
I think
gone already."
that might have been. I think that was 88, huh?
It'd have been. But I'm just like, Savage is out already? Holy crap. You expect him to be one of the last ones. There was another year that I want to say it was 91 that Undertaker got knocked out just like that. And it's like, wait a minute, what? You know, there's more of a
One thing
chance of surprise.
Which also that's another good thing about Survivor Series. We've seen great debuts, like maybe the biggest debut of all was The Undertaker. Plus, we also got the debut of The Shield, and then you got shitty debuts like the Gobbledygooker.
True. Very true.
But the only thing I remember was Undertaker's debut on Ted DiBiase's team. He got eliminated either by, I think it was either a count out or a disqualification in his debut match.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mean his debut solo match?
No, his actual debut on TV where he was on Ted's team when they first
Oh, his
revealed
debut.
him.
Yeah, his debut. Yeah, his debut in Survivor Series. He got counted out.
And then the
But see, we're
following
forgetting.
year, he won the title against Hogan, thanks to Ric Flair.
Right, but we're also forgetting about one other relatively well-known guy who debuted at Survivor Series.
The Rock.
Rocky Maivia.
That's another big one. Yeah. So yeah, you had 5 incredible debuts and one debut that people think is very corny.
Well, the coolest part to the Undertaker's debut. Oh, sorry, man, your mic is like acting really crazy.
I know, I'm gonna have to probably put the volume up, but go ahead about
it's like buffering.
You were talking about. Hold on.
But yeah, remember whenever Taker came out and Piper just lost his mind when he was doing color?
I look at the size of that ham hock. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Piper he was awesome as a color guy. A lot of people I don't think give Roddy Piper the credit that he deserves as an announcer. Even back when he was first getting going in Georgia, and he was working with Gordon Soley and all that, he did some great things as Haas gets his technical issue fixed there. Roddy Piper was really, really good working with Gordon Soley, and then whenever he had his chances to do color in WWE, he really did stand out as a color commentator. And when he did that, hey,
sorry, it is storming outside, and my internet went out. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Let's go ahead and do our picks then, so we can go ahead and before everything goes haywire, and let's go ahead and do our picks then, I guess.
Yeah, this wasn't in. I didn't think we were going to get bad weather today. I thought it all like surpassed. But last I remember, we were talking about you were talking about Piper in his commentary how great he was with Gorilla.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people forget that when he was like in 81, he was doing color with Gordon Soley in Georgia. and he would be that second guy at the dais there in the studio, and he was good then. I always thought he was really good at commentary, um, but when we look at these, yeah, 5-on-5 is probably the way I would go with it. But I tell you who really I think perfected the 2 ring match was World Class.
Um, I forgot to throw this in. If you can remember how it looked in the top of your head, if you want to talk about designs of that double cage, do you prefer the OG look where it had a roof on it and it touched the ring apron, or are you a fan of like AEW's where it looks too massive and it can go to the floor, or you like the one WWE has right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, I liked it when you had the cage and the roof got lowered down on it once everybody got in.
Yeah. I felt like the roof was too low. Like if you were like taking a back body drop, your head could hit the ceiling or your feet could hit the ceiling.
Well, if you remember right, that was the problem the first year because they went to do the Doomsday device on JJ and they didn't have enough height and he broke his collarbone because they had to hit him at a weird angle. He went down at a weird angle and he landed on that collarbone and broke it. And then a few years later, they fixed it. And then a few years later, they ran into the same issue. I don't know what happened that caused it, but when Sid Vicious picked up Pillman to power bomb him, he couldn't take him all the way up because he hit the top of the cage.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But yeah, so but I just know that I liked it whenever they did all the stuff, and then lowered the top onto it, and then there you went.
This might be crazy, but I just like how AEW's looks. Like that's the perfect like concept, the height from the I just don't think I don't like about theirs is I don't like the name. I know they can't have that War Games name. It's copyright issue, so they could have called it something else. But Blood and Guts, I just don't like that name. And I don't like how they break tradition where you can literally get out the cage and it's falls count anywhere, basically. I thought the rules was you keep everyone in, you get out, you forfeit for your team. But if they're trying to do stuff on the roof like it's Hell in a Cell, there should be a they should have built some way to get out where without getting on the floor and ruining the concept. But that's Tony Khan for you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's AEW does some weird stuff anyway. But in this particular case, it's different. I'm with you. I would change the name. I don't exactly have an idea off the top of my head of what to change it to, but you know, it's one of those deals that everybody does it a little different. And I think if you took a combination of everybody's way of doing it, you could come up with the perfect concept. Um, but yeah, the once you get locked in there, the whole premise should be that you can't get out. That's the whole concept of the cage with the roof is that nobody can get out. So
Well, one or two more things before we can predict. Do you have a
yeah.
favorite? Do you have a favorite War Games match? And do you have a favorite all-time Survivor Series team?
Well, favorite War Games match, I have two that are together.
Okay.
One of which is the original. That NWA one, Four Horsemen, Dusty, Nikita, the Road Warriors. The other one was from War Games Takeover in NXT in
Okay.
2019
Nice.
when Rhea Ripley and her team against Shayna Baszler and her team,
That
they
might be
kicked
that might be
the
one of the best
living
women's one.
dog out of each other. Huh?
That might have been probably the best women's War Games match I can remember.
They absolutely kicked the ever living dog out of each other. And I mean, it was a springboard for about half a dozen because you had Bianca Belair in there, you had Rhea, you had um, Shayna, you had Dakota Kai, Candice LeRae. Um, Trying to remember who else was in there, but I mean, all of them springboard onto the main roster.
Yep.
So
And they're all big stars, or majority of them.
yeah, yep. But yeah, that would be my favorite there, along with the original.
Okay, now what about a Survivor Series team?
Man, that's a toughie. But simply because it's the only one that my guy was in, I gotta go with the Ultimate Warriors with Warrior and Carrie and um, Hawk and Animal.
You talking about in '90,
Mm-hmm.
and they
That
took
was the
on
only
like,
one my guy Carrie Von Erich was in. Um,
oh yeah, when he was the Texas
and
Tornado.
yeah, yep. So that just because that's my guy, that's the one that I would have up there.
And I'm trying to remember who they all fought. I think wasn't it like I'm trying to remember who was in that match against them, and it opened up this show.
If I remember right, it was the Brainbusters and yeah, it was Carrie, Ultimate Warrior, the Road Warriors against uh Mr.
It's,
Perfect, Axe Smash, and Crush.
okay, yes, yeah, they were the Warriors versus the Perfect Team. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, Demolition, Mr. Perfect, and Crush.
Well, and that was when Crush was part of Demolition.
Uh-huh. Oh, Brian Adams.
Yeah, it was before he went Hawaiian Crush.
Oh, you mean Kona Crush?
Kona, well, yeah,
Yeah,
Kona Crush.
I still called him the Hawaii Warrior too.
Sorry,
So, okay, so for
got a
me,
cramp in my leg. Sorry.
oh, you good? So for me, my favorite War Games match, I'm gonna go back to WCW. This is probably the only time I can ever say I enjoyed a 3-on-3-on-3 War Games match. It was '98. It was Team WCW, DDP, Warrior, and Piper against NWO's Hogan, Bret Hart, and Stevie Ray, and the Wolfpack Sting, Kevin Nash, and Lex Luger. And whoever got the pinfall challenged Goldberg at Halloween Havoc for the title. There was something about that match I really enjoyed, and I think it put DDP finally in the spotlight because I used to love Diamond Dallas Page, and it brought him to having an outstanding match with Goldberg that the pay per view didn't really get to see. When with that whole concept of it shutting off towards the end, but that was one I've always really enjoyed. I mean, that was probably one of the only good fall ball pay per views WCW ever produced. I thought was '98. The whole show alone was great, but that War Games match was really fun.
Yeah, yeah. You
And
you
then,
could definitely tell if you even if you weren't watching the TVs, you could certainly tell when WCW started going downhill simply because of the pay-per-views. Because of the quality that you used to have that you didn't have anymore. Um, but yeah, you're right. That was definitely a diamond in the rough, that match.
yeah, and that was probably one of their only like good pay per views of 2 or 3 good pay per views in '98 was that one. That was probably like their last good one for a while. And then best Survivor Series team, I'm gonna go to there's not a lot of teams that ever had a clean sweep, but I can tell you there was only one 5-man team that had a clean sweep, and that was DX, the Hardys, and CM Punk in 2006 when they swept Rated RKO, Johnny Nitro, Gregory Helms, and Mike Knox. Like That match was Sean made that match so entertaining and funny. Super kicking Mike Knox immediately, eliminating him, and then the whole hugging on Melina, and they both have a jump scare when they saw each other face to face. Like it. Plus, it was a great build up. That each of those guys were feuding with someone. DX was feuding with Rated RKO. Jeff Hardy was feuding with Johnny Nitro for the IC title. Matt Hardy was feuding with his cousin Gregory Helms. And CM Punk was feuding with Mike Knox in ECW over Kelly Kelly. So it had a great concept of putting two good teams together, but the team I was rooting for had a clean sweep, and no one expected a clean sweep. They thought it was going to come down to the wire. No, they shut that whole team out in like 10, 11 minutes.
Yeah, and you didn't see a clean sweep very often in Survivor Series. You would at least see one person on the other side get knocked out, but you didn't see clean sweep very often.
I think there was probably like maybe one clean sweep, maybe like in the early 90s with a four-man team, but anything like that one on four shit Big Show did in 99 didn't count. Which that was the dumbest concept ever. And they're supposed to team up with Kai and Ty, and the corporate ministry took him out, and he had to fight them all by himself. And he eliminated everybody in 90 seconds. Yeah. That was a.
Yep.
Well, we could go ahead and wrap this up. 4 matches tonight. I'll be tuning in, and if I don't get cut out again, even if I got to do it on my phone to be safe, I'm potentially in the works of maybe doing a post show immediately following the PLE. If not, I'll probably wait a couple days. I'll keep everyone posted on that. But there will be probably will most likely be a Fallout show. If it ain't tonight, it'll be another day.
Got you.
But let's go ahead. So we'll start. There's only 4. I'm shocked they didn't add a 5th, but I'm okay with 4 because usually these WarGames matches can last till about an hour. It's like basically it's as long as a Royal Rumble match, basically.
Right. That's what I was thinking. They're both going to take about an hour, and then the other 2 matches aren't going to go quick. So, and plus they do all that stupid stuff in between and everything. So.
Oh yeah, like the UFC and boxing, they always got to show blimp shots of the city or the crowd or
Yeah, and the
show.
little vignettes that they do, and
You
and
can
I'm
tell
sure they'll
that.
have some sort of big vignette on Ray and Dominic and that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, they're gonna probably recap that Triple H show they did in Puebla last night, which I did watch it on YouTube. Very. I wish there's a way I could translate watching it in English because I really enjoyed Triple A's product WWE shown on YouTube. El Grande Americano and Vikingo put on a banger of a match late last night, and great match. Americano got the win, courtesy of Dragon, because Dragon Lee's going in a feud with Vikingo, and their next pay per view. It was gonna be headlined by Dominic and El Grande versus the Lucha Brothers, but I don't know if it's a real injury or not. But Penta got hurt in that tournament. We don't know how severe it is. They might write the match off and postpone it. And if they do that, then the show's going to be headlined with Vikingo and Dragon Lee.
They're
And
saying
Ring.
that shoulder injury to Penta is similar to the injury to Rollins.
Oh shit! Damn.
Yeah.
Because I freaking love Penta, and he's been killing it since he showed up on Raw. And if he's going to be out just as long as Seth, that's sad. It sucks.
Well, and the Lucha Brothers, I mean, they were awesome in AEW.
Oh yeah, I watched them in TNA. I watched them in Lucha
Yeah,
Underground.
in TNA.
That's where I
I didn't
discovered
see him in
Penta.
Lucha Underground.
That's where I discovered Penta mainly was TNA. I remember when they put the world title on him
Yeah.
when he was Pentagon Jr.,
Yep.
which I hated that they changed his AEW changed his name to Penta El Cerro Miedo. That was too long. I said just call him Pentagon or Penta or Penta Jr. No, yeah, that was too long of a name. But then WWE did it right when they got him. They just call him Penta.
Yeah.
So, all right, so
Yeah.
2 title matches, 2 War Games matches. The first title match, a match we don't need. We're gonna get it out of the way. Stephanie Vauquier versus Nikki Bella for the Women's World Championship. I'll let you go first, but just me, I got nothing against Vakir. I absolutely love her. It's just Nikki. I've never was a fan of the Bella twins. They cannot wrestle. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm with you. I was not a fan of the Bellas. It was one of those they looked good, but they didn't perform that great. Um, I I just have this funny feeling that this is where we see Bree come back,
Oh wow.
have a little twin magic going on, and Bree or Nikki ends up winning the title.
I wouldn't be surprised, especially where they got connections in San Diego, and that's like her second home. But it would be kind of sad you put the belt finally on Vakir at WrestlePalooza, and you just have her lose it 2 months later to a Hall of Famer, which the Hall of Fame to me now is a joke because it's like not only do they just put anybody in, but it's like I feel like there should be a rule like the NFL. You go in the Hall of Fame, you should not be allowed to get back in the ring ever again. And they did that with quite a bit of people, like a Rey Mysterio and an Edge and Ric Flair and guys like that. But that's just me. Like if you're
Yeah.
Goldberg, especially most of all. But no, don't do my girl like this. I hope Valkyria retains. Like I want her to go into WrestleMania as champion.
Well, I do too, and I think she'll get it back. Don't get me wrong, but I just for some reason they wouldn't be doing this if they weren't looking to do something for Brie or for Nikki. I mean, I don't know if it's the Cena thing, you know, with their past relationships and that kind of crap, or what it is, but I don't know. But I know that's definitely a bad. They're probably gonna. That'll probably be the second match, which means the nobody is gonna care.
That's going to be the piss break before this next one we predict right now. Um, John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. John Cena's final PLE match before he officially retires.
Mhm.
I knew they needed to do something big for Dom because it's in San Diego. It's in the ballpark of his
Right.
baseball team. Some people were like, should have put him in the world title picture, should have put him in the main event because I didn't know they were going to do something big with him. I thought they were going to
Yeah.
put him against like Punk or something or Cody, or they were going to put him in a title versus career with his dad, where he would have put the AAA title on the line and Ray would have put his career on the line. But then they wrote that off, and they were going to say, "Oh, we're going to put him in John Cena's final PLE match to give him maybe a big moment in his hometown, or have him a big fight feel with with one of the all-time greats." So there's a lot of question marks on how this can go because after this, Cena's got one more and he's done. People think,
Yeah.
oh, they don't need to be a title for his final match, especially with the final who the final four is. They think they already got a concept of who's going to win now and retire him, and it don't need to be for a championship. But they're trying to push Dom to the moon because he's already one of the biggest stars of AAA, and now he's becoming a very fast breakout star in WWE. As much as I despise him, I will give him his credit. He is getting that big push now with where he is today, especially with the cosplaying of Eddie Guerrero with the mullet and the mustache and having a mama seat or whatever, whether if it's like a Rhea, a Liv, or a Roxanne or something. They're pushing him as like an incarceration of Eddie Guerrero. But
Right.
does he get the belt back? Does he have his golden moment in his hometown? Or does John Cena close out his final PLE with a W?
No, I think Dom gets the belt back. Um, Cena has said that he's looking at helping to build young talent and stuff like that as he's finishing off his career. And, yeah, he lost the title to Cena. Getting it back from Cena just makes sense. Not quite sure exactly what kind of shenanigans and that are going to go on. Uh, but I think Dom gets the title back.
I think I'm gonna make hell freeze over when I say I think Dom wins it back too, but I think he's got to win it fair and square. He cannot have the Judgment Day help him. I think he needs to do this on his own. If you're trying to
Yeah.
be if you're trying to be the next biggest star, you got to do this on your own. But I wouldn't be surprised if Rey Mysterio comes and costs him the title, and we get this feud with Ray and Dom for the AAA title. Even if they got to do it on AAA's show, I still see that feud coming. But as of right now, I'll stick and say that Dom wins it back, and he'll be a double champion once again.
Yep.
Then we got our first War Games match, the women's, which I think it opens the show again. Usually the women's War Games been kicking off the show, but Punk stated that I think he just stated that because his wife's in it. He's saying that the women's War Games should main event. Not this year. Maybe in the future they will, but no, not this year. But
Right.
one team you got whoever I'm guessing Rhea's the team captain. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee versus Nia Jax, Slash Legend, Becky Lynch, and the Kabuki Warriors. I don't even know who the team captain really is going to be for this one. I feel like Nia kind of put the team together, but Asuka's kind of been leading the charge. But with Becky rolling in like, oh, I'm the man, I'm just jumping in. This is my team. At least I think they got, I mean, both teams got good chemistry of putting a team together. It's the men's one that's going to have some concept with that. But I think this is going to be a very exciting feud, the War Games feud, because you got Becky feuding with AJ, you got Charlotte and Alexa feuding with Nia and Lash, and you got Rhea and Io feuding with Kabuki Warriors. You want something like this. You don't want to just put randoms fighting randoms. You want
Right.
feuds to come together. This is a perfect example. So, give me your take on who kicks off War Games with a win here, and who takes the
Well,
pinfall.
I that's the toughest part. Um, I do agree with you that the concept they laid it out right. Um, who wins? I honestly think Naya's team wins this thing,
Okay.
and I can feel it. I feel it in my bones. As vehement as everything has been with this whole deal and all that, Charlotte's going to turn
Oh Lord.
and cost the team for the 40. She's turned more times than Big Show, and she's going to end up costing the team. Probably would be, and this is another one I hate to say, but I think I'm right. I think Rhea eats the pin
Ooh.
to set up Rhea and Charlotte.
Again, maybe not at WrestleMania. It can be like on Saturday night's main event or something. We don't need. I don't know.
I don't, as far as that goes, I don't know. But we all know that match is gonna get eyeballs on the TV screen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I wouldn't mind a Alexa Charlotte feud. Them being partners and quote unquote best friends, and then they fight. I like storylines like that too. But anything is possible. We could get, and hell, they could build it all the way to WrestleMania again with Rhea and Charlotte. They've already put a banger once at Mania, and they don't need a title for it.
Right.
Let them just fight.
And see, that's one that I could see ending Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell match with them two.
Right.
I would love. I'm down for it. Um. Okay, I'm gonna add this as a bonus too. You said Rhea takes the pin. I don't know
Uh-huh.
who would pin her, but here's my take. I think Io starts the match for her team, and on the other side, it's either Kyrie Sane or maybe a Lash Legend. But I'd like to see Io and Kyrie start it off. Two Kabuki Warriors going, kicking it off.
Yeah, and Charlotte's team has the advantage.
Yep.
So, you know.
And then we got the men's War Games. I think on main
Uh-huh.
event. One team you got. CM Punk, who's the world champion, and the WWE champion Cody Rhodes. But I feel like now, since this dad created this, I feel like Cody's going to probably be a part of every War Games match from here on out. And you got the Usos, and you got Roman Reigns versus, if you want to call this entire group division now, but you got Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul in replacement for Seth, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar. Something tells me Brock in this match is going to make it more fun to watch because you know how chaotic he can be in cages. I feel like they
Yeah.
have. I feel like now they're calling this as Brock's team, especially on ESPN. They're advertising it's Cody's team versus Brock's team, which I feel like it's more Braun Breaker's team. Braun Breaker's more the second command in chief behind Seth Rollins. Where on the other side, Cody and Punk are fighting over who's the team captain. So that kind of puts a disadvantage for that team. Plus, the Vision got the advantage. But which two start the match? Which team wins? And of course, who takes the pinfall?
Who starts the match? Probably Jimmy and or no, Jay and Bronson Reed.
Okay. I was going to say Jay and Logan Paul.
Possible. But I think Jay and Bronson Reed start the match.
Yeah, that'll be 2 years in a row. Jay Uso would start War Games. He started it last year.
Yeah.
Okay, well then who wins and who takes the pinfall?
See, this was how I was trying to figure out how they would do this. I think you're going to have both heel teams win.
Okay.
And man, I think Jimmy eats the pin from Logan Paul.
Oh
I
wow,
don't like it. I don't like it, but I think that's what's going to happen.
that would be something for the internet to complain about, especially for a guy they hate like Logan Paul. But
Well, but see, Jimmy is the only one that's not in a position that a loss would hurt him.
because it wouldn't hurt him.
So, that's why I think Jimmy loses it. And
I would
then, you know,
I wouldn't be
that
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Jay takes the pin because Jay is over pushed and everyone don't want him on top anymore. They're 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 saying, oh, it's like Roman Reigns 10 years ago. They're just shoving him down our throats with everyone's getting tired of the eating. Everyone's getting tired of like the 10-minute entrances and eating for like an encore. And
they
everyone's already
they are, but here's the thing. And spoiler, folks, this hasn't been official, but spoiler: Uso's fighting Cena in his last match.
you think it's Jey Uso.
Go back to the
That's a
Royal Rumble.
hey, I wouldn't be surprised. But I know a lot of people are going to get mad because everyone's complaining. We don't want another Gunther Jey Uso final like they had for King of the Ring or whatnot, or for the world, or for a shot at Punk for the World Championship. We're probably going to get a Gunther Jey Uso final.
But it just makes sense for Jey Uso to fight Cena. If you go back and think about the Rumble and let all the pieces lay together, it's Jey Uso. Dark
I
horse in the whole thing is LA Knight, but I don't see it. I see Jey Uso and Cena at Saturday night's main event.
what I would
So
really want.
you're not going to have Jay eat the pin in WarGames if he's fighting Cena in his last match.
Hell, even a lot of people were saying they'd be surprised if Roman takes the pin.
Roman's not taking the pin. There's no possible way Roman's taking the pin.
I could see maybe one of the champions getting the pin, but I if Punk gets pinned, he's gonna get pinned by Logan Paul, and that could lead to a title feud. But you ain't got to worry about.
Possible.
I think both Roman and Brock will be the last two to come out the cages. Brock's gonna be dead last for his team,
Probably.
but
I think you're
I
probably
feel
right.
with how good and how that far they're pushing Braun Breaker, I could see Braun Breaker scoring a pinfall on someone. Maybe like I could see Braun scoring a
He
pinfall on
could.
CM Punk.
He could. It could
So
be Braun, but I just for whatever reason I just got this weird feeling that it's going to end up being Logan Paul. I don't like it, but because if Jimmy goes down, what guy on that other team does it benefit to pin Jimmy Uso? There really isn't one. It doesn't benefit Bronson Reed. It doesn't benefit Braun Breaker. It doesn't benefit McIntyre. It doesn't benefit Lesnar. The closest person that could benefit is Logan Paul just because he gets another pin on a pay-per-view, PLE. That's the only logic that I can use behind it, which we all know logic doesn't necessarily mean a whole hell of a lot in WWE. But at the same time, but you watch, we'll both be completely wrong.
oh yeah, but I think the Vision wins, of course. I'll just because I want to see them fight for a title. I'm gonna say Braun Breaker pins CM Punk.
Okay.
But that's all I got for this. This was fun, even though I had a minor
Okay.
issue, but I popped back up in seconds because I'm always prepared for the bad to come. But I hope you enjoy. I know we got a lot of great rivalry games in college football. I'm gonna be on that all day, all night, even while watching the
Yep.
Survivor Series. But we'll see how the night goes. If I'm in the works to do it, I will get on here and immediately do a recap show of Survivor Series. If not, wait till the next day or whenever. I'll keep you posted on that.
Sounds good.
But this was fun. I know for those watching, you can find me at Big House 337 on X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Driving to the Top Productions.
And with mine, Big Rich 8371 on Twitter or on Facebook, just my name, Rich Richardson, or right here on Driving to the Top.
All right. Well, this was fun. I mean, Saturday mornings are.
Yeah.
This wasn't too bad. Like, I wouldn't mind doing this for like PLEs. Get up in the morning and predict them. That way, the match card is officially set.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Plus,
definitely something we can look at making more consistent.
Nick. Yeah, I feel like it would be a while for the next one, which will be probably the Rumble.
Yeah. Yeah, Rumble will be the next one.
Yeah, because I don't watch AEW pay per views. I ain't paying that much for that. And then TNA, I mean, they just do it every quarter of the month. But I haven't really been keeping up with TNA lately. But I'm gonna try and get back on the TNA train again. But
Gotcha.
all right, man. Well, enjoy
All right,
your
buddy.
Saturday. Enjoy Survivor
You too?
Series. Enjoy college football and the rivalry games. And I'll catch you. I'll catch you next week.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate y'all watching.
Yep. Appreciate y'all too. Thank y'all. You you can probably can you end it?
I can. You need me to?
Yeah, go ahead.